part of playing Eric?
Well, I really enjoyed stepping into the project because I spent 7 months working on this miniseries, and the guy is so controlled and so kind of laconic in a way, and then to go and also the tone of Generation Kill is quite different from True Blood. So
Eric's really tall as well.
yeah, and Brad Holbert, who I play, he's 5'2", so it's a bit of a stretch for me as an actor. But I pulled it off, didn't I?
You're doing really well.
I'm a pretty good 5'2" actor. No, it was just the freedom of it. It was a lot of fun to do something completely. I mean, I really liked Generation Kill in that experience, but to do something that's completely different, both in terms of the character and kind of the tone of the show was great. Definitely.
And as a fan of True Blood, who do you believe Sookie belongs with, Eric or Bill?
Lafayette, I would say.
Pam. Oh, Pam.
Yeah. Noe.
Sam, this season we meet your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Anything about when you were learning your character's backstory this season that sort of surprised you or maybe informed your performance in a different way?
Well, my parents are really sketchy, sort of itinerant, really poor. They're trouble. They're sort of big trouble. And yeah, I mean, for Sam, it was he kind of finally decided that he wanted to go back and kind of see who he was, and seeing his parents is sort of like, really sort of seeing who he really came from and who he really is. And there are actually a lot of surprises for Sam with them. I mean, he thinks he sort of gets them at the beginning, and thinks that he can kind of go and meet them and get a feel for them and leave, but that doesn't really work out. And there's some really big twists that are very kind of disturbing that happen, and don't want to get into that yet. But
well, we have a question from Chris M, and he asks, why do you think Sam's relationships never work out? Do you think he'll ever find true love?
Gosh, yeah, it's been a tough month for Sam. It's weird. It's like 2 seasons is 1 month. Maybe he will. I think he probably will. It could take like 20 seasons, but
Is it because no one is ever Sookie? When it comes down to it.
It could be that.
Is that what it is, Alan?
Well, I personally find that happy, functional relationships are great in life, but they get kind of boring on TV. You want to, and especially if you think of this as a soap opera, which you said earlier, and which I sort of see that, you always want to throw trouble and difficulties and conflict at the characters. And then when they do experience some happiness, it ain't gonna last. The time to get everybody happy is right before the very end of the series, I think.
Well, speaking of unhappiness, Ratina, God, it really put you through the ringer. I've seen the first 3 episodes, and my God, where do you think she gets her will to live?
I think from her childhood, I think just because she's had to grow up so fast, because she's had to take care of her mother, she sort of has had this survival technique. She's a survivor and a fighter, and she will do whatever she has to do to get by. And sometimes that gets in her way because she has these blinders on and she can't sometimes see what's right in front of her because she's so defensive. But yeah, I think she gets it from growing up so fast.
Rebecca B. wanted me to ask you, how do you think Tara has evolved since season 1? Less angry, more crazy?
I don't know, she's kind of a little unstable right now, but I wouldn't say that she's more angry. I think we're kind of seeing her vulnerability come out, and a lot of her insecurities. And I think this season is going to be interesting to see her journey as she sort of tries to find herself and find her feet, so to speak. It's been very challenging playing someone that is so up and down, but I think it's every actor's dream to have the meat that we have on this show. I think all of us get to really sink our teeth, for lack of a better phrase, into these roles. And I've loved doing that, and I've really enjoyed playing her.
It's like Greek tragedy sometimes, with a lot of humor and sex.
Ryan, what is the craziest thing you've had to say or do as Jason?
I always like the line to Steve Nolan at the end, where I sort of say that heaven was inside his wife. That was rather nice after a whole season of build-up to end our relationship with that.
Do you ever have a moment of panic when you get the script each week and be like, my God, what are they going to ask me to do now?
I think we all have those moments. It's not necessarily panic, it's more like what have they got in store for us. I think every episode has at least 2 or 3, we tend to call them firsts as cast, things that have never been sort of seen or done before on television, or I've certainly never seen before. So you sort of brace yourself for those moments and then think, how in the world are we going to pull this off? And somehow we keep managing to do it. So it's, yeah.
Matt B.